Hey guys, and welcome back to my channel. If you're meeting me for the very first time, my name is Nelly, and I do videos on everything motherhood, lifestyle, um, and just everything I know along the way. Anyway, so today I wanted to talk to you guys about my integration process. And I think last time I remember telling you guys that I'll one day fill you guys in on how the journey has been going. So, hey, AL Organic Cosmetics, how are you doing? Um, nice to see you here. I really need to come and see you through, see you on your side. How is your day, girl? How have you been? Um, yeah, so last time I remember when I was doing, I did a video about integration. And on the video, some of you guys were asking me to give a more updated version of how the journey has been for me and what it has been like and stuff like that. So today I thought I'd rather come in here and share this experience with you guys. Oh, nice to meet you here once more. Really, really do appreciate this. How is it going on your side? How is it on your platform? Please let me know. I'm still trying to build on my hours. Hopefully, I'm able to get there sooner. But yeah, the going has been great. How is your how is it going on your side? Have you been monetized yet? Like, have you managed to reach the 4,000 watch hours? Let me know. Oh, thank you so much. Thank you for the hair, love. Thank you. Thank you so much. And thank you for being here also to support my content. I really do appreciate it a lot. Yeah, so like I was saying, I wanted to come in here and talk to you guys about my integration process and tell you guys how integration has been like for me here in Finland. It's now been 2 years since coming here in Finland. And in these 2 years, the first year, I don't know if I shared with you guys, but just for the sake of this live stream, I would like to share once again and state that the first year when we moved here, there's a lot happening. There was the new culture, the new everything. And I talked to you guys about the culture shock as well in the last live stream we did together. So there's a lot to adjust to. And I also came with children. So I thought it was better off to see my children through first and then get to integrate myself. That way they had like a support system for themselves instead of me and them being in the same state together. Then there's no one to help the other person. And it wasn't so easy, I must say, because integration as a whole is sounds as an easy thing, but as you start going through it, wow. Thank you so much for your wishes as well. Thank you so very much. And nice congratulations for that. I know it will happen soon. I know it's coming when it comes. I have not been so consistent on my journey here on YouTube because I'm a so terrible multitasker. I like to give my best. If I focus on something, I give it my best. And when I have multiple things to do, there's always one side that will tend to lose a little bit. And for me, that has been on my YouTube because I gave my best to some other issues that were really so important, equally as YouTube has been. But now I'm back and I'm trying to build on this. And I know my pace will also get me there at some point. No pressure. But yeah, so the first year was me trying to, what is it called, integrate my children first of all. So I got my oldest son to start school. That was not so easy because he was going to school and he's not able to speak the language. My husband was working abroad, so it was also that was another plus challenge. And my sons, the last two, took quite a while before joining daycare because we were not able to find a place for them immediately. So, but then they were able to join daycare later on. So I ended up staying at home for 1 year and trying to adjust to the whole change of being in a new place, trying to settle down, trying to make sure that the kids are in school and settled and stuff like that. And after 1 year, then I realized that actually when I received my residence permit, they gave me a paperwork, which was places you can go to visit or something like that, places you can look for a job and stuff like that, and many other information. And this is a paper I had not checked, probably because I felt like there's a lot happening in my mind at that particular time. But then later on, I realized that, you know what, actually, let's have a look at that document and see what exactly it entails now that we have settled down, like academically, let's see what we can do, or job wise, let's see what we can do and stuff like that. So then I went to the TE office, which is the unemployment office, which help you locate a job place or with searches of jobs and stuff like that. And they actually help with integration. And then after doing the application with them as an employed person, I was able to lay down my plan and started my training on the language. So that was about I would say 3 months later, started the training after registering with them. And then after registering with them, then the language training for the first session was so hard. Like, it was so difficult and so thorough. I felt like I wanted to lose hope in the middle of it. And then I was like, we have to keep going. Thankfully, I had family members who were there, like, for me with the whole process, like trying to help me out. And so I'd say it was much more easier in that manner because I had people I would ask and they would try and help me out, as well as now my son was also settling very well in school. So that was also coming in handy as a helping hand as well, trying to help him do his homework, and learning from the same was also really good. And also my son had then learned much more than I had, so that was really really nice. So I would say if you're coming here and you have a family, you can take them to international schools if you want to, which schools are free in Finland, but there's a certain amount of fee you might have to pay if you're taking your child to a private school. So my son having learned the language really helped a lot, because then I was learning from him as well as learning from school. I can see there are two people watching. Thank you so much for being here. I really do appreciate your time. Give me a shout out so I know who is watching. I'd really love to know who's watching right now. Organic Cosmetics, thank you so much again for being here. I don't know, ALS or ALS. I don't know how you pronounce your channel, but thank you so much for being here. So then after starting the training, Sharon and the family, hey, how are you? Girl, thank you so much for being here though. I've been catching up with you like every time we upload, and I'm so happy to see baby girl growing, like so happy. And it makes me so happy. Like, it's like I'm there with on her growth with you. So that has been so amazing. Anyway, today I'm sharing about my integration story. And I hope that you guys can, if you want to chip in and share, if you have lived in a new country, if it's the same thing or not, I would love to know. And yeah, let's continue with the chat. So then the first one was hard and very intensive, because I think I studied German, and I would say that was the easiest language I've ever learned and tried to understand, compared to Finnish. Finnish is totally different turning of the tongue, different pronunciation, different alphabets. Everything was totally different. So that was really a challenge for me, considering it's not any way close to the language we speak back at home. So that was just like, am I ever going to crack this? But it gets better. So then when the first one ended, which is the Oma Uksi, It's called Oma 1. It's Finnish language. I don't know what class they put it exactly, but it's called Oma Oksi. So when that ended, turned out I passed. And then I shared with you guys the video where actually we went for Haritelu, which is now where you get to practice what you have learned. And then after that, we had a break. And then after the break, we went back to school. And the good thing with the integration here is that you can choose to do it in two different ways. To learn the language, you can pay someone to teach you the language, or you can take this other way with the TE office, which is the unemployment office, which they help you do the language. You're given some small amount of money. It's not much that you can live on. It's a small amount, like you can use it as a supplementary income to what you already have. And I think that's meant to encourage you to continue because it's not something you're able to rely on completely. So if you're coming here, I don't know how other immigrants are managing, but I think maybe compiled with other benefits, you're able to pay for your rent and stuff like that. But I would say it's not something that is able to pay your rent and pay for your food and everything. And that's how I can quantitate it. So that is though a benefit, because if you're learning a new language and you're being given some small amount of money to encourage you along the way to be able to pay for transport, food, and maybe buy yourself something, that is a good thing, right? So on the second one, I realized, oof, my head had opened up. So at this particular time, it's easier to understand what they're saying, what I'm being taught, and stuff like that. But you get to realize as well that when you give yourself time, it gets better. Let me see what's happening here. Sharon is saying, I'm great. And you, yeah, I think I've read most of the these ones. Yeah. Sharon, what's your best secret for getting monetized? Would you let me know? Or catching up with the hours, basically. I'm left with a few to go. And yeah, still catching up with them slowly but steadily. Yeah, so then now tomorrow I get to finish this one and get my result and get to know that if I've passed or not passed or something like that. So I'm so like fingers crossed that I'm going to pass it. But the reason why I was coming to do this is to tell you guys that integration is sorry. Okay. Oh, that was my son. Integration is no worries, Sharon. Integration is possible if you open up your mind to relearning new things, and also possible if the place that you're coming into is able to, what is it called, accept you for you and not try and change you. So for example, like I told you guys before, for myself, we do integration both ways. Like I'm learning the new language and I'm trying to integrate here, but you also guys have seen me trying to teach my husband my language, my mother tongue, and we also try and make the food here. So it's like it's not like we're trying to abandon where we came from, because that's a home that we have known for a long time. And also we're trying to relearn this other new home, which is now the new culture we have to embrace, and the new people and the new type of lifestyle and stuff like that. So for me, integration, I'd say it's been a hard journey. Sometimes I felt like, for example, on my husband's side, I don't know if I told you guys, but when we moved here with my husband, I came in as a married person, and my husband did not know the language, and they did not have services like this for someone like him. So he had to get trained to he had to learn the language. And also, but then his was not like learning like I am learning. His was like, let me catch up with where I left it from, because he had been studying here previously, but he lived outside of the country. So his training was totally different from what I was doing. Like he had to, what is it called? It's kind of like trying to do a small training to get to startup or something like that. And I would say if you're moving to Finland as as a couple or as a family, it's better if you come with something you had set up, a saving you had set up from your previous country to move in here, because the benefits that you might be able to get here are really helpful in most cases, but they're not able to pay to sustain you in your normal lifestyle. So you need to, if for me, one takeout I took out of all of this process of integrating in Finland is that if you want to come in as a new resident or to come and live here, you should try and save up in your previous country, that by the time you're coming here and you settle down, you still have something to live out of. Because coming to settle here, you need to go to work. To go to work, you might need the language. There are organizations that take people who speak in English, but not many of them. And many jobs I see most foreigners doing here is food delivery. There are foreigners also who do work in hospitals and stuff like that, but I'm just saying easily available jobs for many foreigners here are what I would call, I don't know if I'd say something like, not the black collar job is what I'd call them. Like it's not like you're going to an office. It's like the food delivery with different companies, the cleaning companies. I see them taking many foreigners. The many places that they take foreigners, but it's not something that amounts to the skill you have learned in your country. So you might find someone did, for example, um, nursing in Kenya, which is really good quality standard of nursing, because you learn a lot. But then when you come to a place like this, before you learn the language, you might, if you don't learn the language, you might end up working as a cleaner or as a delivery person or something like that, because it's really hard to be trusted to work in a place where you're not able to communicate with the people in the local language. And I think this also came up when we were talking with Olivia last time in the live video we did. So for our side, or on my opinion, I would say if you're coming to Finland as a new couple, you must have to save first from your country of origin, in a way that you're able to come and be able to continue living as you try and relearn this new environment or catch up with the things in this new environment. Because otherwise it can be really, really, really hard. Because when you come, don't expect to continue with your life like as normal. Like your life takes one step behind. In my opinion, you'll always have to go one step behind, because it's always one step behind because you are not able to get into the job immediately, or one step behind because catching up and everything like that. Like you just never come. And I don't think it's possible to just come and take off. Like it's really hard. And so you have to brace that period that you know you financially and emotionally you are well prepared for that catching up period that you have with your family. Another thing I would say is, yes, of course, this country, I think so far it's a good country compared to the UK, because the many services that they give to people to help you out with just trying to be in this place, like in a sort of kind of normal way. And I would say Finland is one of the countries where even the homeless people are well taken care of. But that still does not make it easy, because again, it's not your country, it's not something you're used to. You're coming to relearn a new culture, a new set of people, a new everything. You guys, thank you so much. For those of you who are already here, please give me a shout out. I'd really love to know who's watching, and yeah, say hello to you. And nice to meet you as well again. And good afternoon, good morning, good evening from where you're watching from. So moving forward, what is it? So I've talked about settling in. If you guys actually have questions, you can also ask me. That way we're able to not talk because I want to talk and share my thoughts, but because you also are able to learn or exchange ideas, or maybe tell me how it is on your side and how you integrated, if you have, or if you're planning to integrate, what type of questions you have. I think that way it will really help much more better to know where we're headed to with this conversation. So most of the time you see many foreigners, they do the cleaning jobs, which I would not say they're bad, because sometimes it's the only thing available. I have been able to meet some, what is it called, professionals who have been able to do some profession in their country of origin, but then you come to Finland and things are totally different and you have to restart from whichever point you can. So I would say sometimes I've met foreigners who you'd hear them saying in the background, like, immigrants just come here to do cleaning and stuff like that. But it's not like that. I think sometimes it's where you find yourself when you are head against, like, face against the wall, like that is the only job that you can do. But at the same time, I would say most of them also, this language can be really, really hard for some people, that you choose not to do it. And when you choose not to do it, then you end up having to do the other types of job to keep you going. And of course, there's the tax, there's the everything. So life becomes much more harder with time. For me, I would say the most important thing that has helped me with my training has been my family and also my friends. Like, you having people who are able to reaffirm you, like, we've been here, you're going to make it through, and it's going to be okay. And if you need help, I'm here. That is something that has been like really amazing for me. And also having people who always confirm to you and tell you, reassure you that, you know what, whatever you have within you is okay for you. Whatever skill you're adding onto you is also okay. Don't try and let go of one side of you and try and embrace the other side. So that has been also really nice thing to have learned along the way. For me, I would also say plugging into conversations with people who have lived here for a while and getting to know how they made it through, and also plugging into conversations over people who are already here and the things that are happening here. Of course, they speak it in their own language, has helped with also part of learning. So that has all been so amazing for me in the learning process. Yeah, so far I think it's been so amazing. But Corona did not make it easy because we were doing what is it called? Online classes. So that was a little bit hard because you don't get to talk to people. You know, when you go to school during break time, you get to meet with other people. This one during break time, you're either with your family or by yourself. So I can imagine those who don't have family members here, it must have been really like an extra challenge for them as well. Um, yeah, let me see. You guys leave me some comments. I want to hear, how is your day, for example? If you're in a new country, how was learning the language? Did you learn it from Kenya, or did you learn it in your current country of residence? And how was the process itself for you as a person? Those kind of things. Sharon, are you still here? And also ALS Organic Cosmetics. I can see there's one more person I'm not given a shout out yet. Hey Sharon Lifestyle, how are you? How is your day going by? You guys bring some questions. You can ask me anything, and also suggest anything we can talk about. Yeah. But today I wanted to talk about integration. And yesterday was it yesterday on the 10th? Was Mental Health Day. How is that also coming along? I don't know. It's been a while. I have not talked about that, but we shall be talking about that maybe in future, or if you guys want us to. I'm good. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here, girl. I really appreciate your support so very much. I am still on, what is it called? I'm still trying to do live streams to try and boost my hours, as well as create content. But most of the time I've been giving to school, so it's not been so easy on creating content wise. So I thought coming in here and sharing a little bit does help a little bit, and little by little we get there. But if please you can play my watch list, I would really appreciate that. I have one on audience retention, and then I also have these random vlogs that I need to, random streams that I need to do what to add on to my audience retention. So if you're able to play it around, play it in your house, for example, for me, I would really appreciate that. I'm so close, like I'm really close, and I can't wait to get there. But in the meantime, It's nice having a chat with you guys always. If you guys have any questions, you can let me know. Yeah, so that is much of what I wanted to share about integration. One, if you're coming as a family, you really need a backup plan. Like, if we get there, if we don't start working immediately, what are we going to rely on? And also, another thing is be prepared, like mentally, and especially for the kids and even for yourself as an individual, because the transition is really, really not so easy. But if you have prepared yourself mentally, you're able to know, like, I'd say the important thing is you have to make achievable goals or sustainable goals for you as an immigrant or as a new person in a new country, whether you're traveling or something like that. Because one, learning the language is not so easy. So if you set yourself some time and say, maybe in 2 months' time, I want to be already in school or working or something like that, it might not be the same, realistically speaking, like once you get to that place. So I think if you make realistic goals on how exactly, like, give yourself an ample time to integrate, it will make much more difference than if you set goals and you say, this can't done, this done, this done, this done. It's just, I don't think it works like that. Or maybe it might to some people. If you already are coming with a job in your hand already, it might work. But if you're not coming with a job at hand already, it might be really difficult. Um, yeah. Sharon is saying she'll write me a message. Thank you so much for that. I think I read that as well. And Sharon Lifestyle, thank you so much. You too, Sharon. Sharon too. Two Sharons, thank you so much for being here. Yeah, so that has been part of my integration. Tomorrow I get to finish it up and call it done. Like, I'm so happy. Like, okay, let me not get out ahead of myself. I told you guys last time I gave it my best. Tomorrow I get to know whether I've passed or I'm still being humbled back to the same class. But fingers crossed for me that it's done. Like, it's done. And then, oh, my husband is calling. Just a minute. Oh, I'm just being told about a meeting I have to attend at 5 o'clock. So I don't know. Sharon is saying, you are right. Integration takes time, especially with family. Yeah. And I think mostly one mistake that people might end up doing when moving in with families is not to consider their mental state, the mental status of the children as you try and integrate in a manner that when you take your children to school and you also start integrating immediately, like also to start doing the training and everything happening around, you don't get time to track on how is my child accepting this, or is it working for them, or how hard is it becoming for them. I think things like those can really make a difference if people do things like those. Because, for example, when we moved here with my first son, the first year was really a challenge, making friends and stuff like that, and just being there for him and being available was something that really helped a lot. So I'd say, especially integrating with family is really a challenge. But if you take your time and be able to be there to read along the lines and see where the child is struggling and help them along, then I think it becomes much more easier to do so. Yeah. How was it for you, Sharon? Did you have all your kids in the country where you live in, or did you have them back home? Sharon Lifestyle. How was it for you? Sharon is saying is oh I'm saying Sharon is saying Shaz, hello sis. You guys have the same name. So when I say Sharon and Shaz, it becomes a tongue twister. Like for real, for real, for real tongue twister. Um yeah. Ah, Sharon is saying your kids were all born. That's nice. Then that must have been a very smooth like transition because then you had maybe to do it you and your husband. That was a smart move. That was a really smart move. Um, for me, I had all my kids in Kenya, and they started school there before we moved here. So by the time we were moving here, Daniel was still about less than six. Daniel was just 6 months, my younger one. Um, Matthew was just about to begin the age of beginning daycare, and Adrian was already in school. So by the time we came here, Adrian was joining school. Daniel and Matthew had to wait at home. So at least that gave me enough time with Adrian. And also just being there, it wasn't easy, but we made it through. And then by the time Matthew and Daniel were joining, then it was much more easier to just. And then by that time, also my husband was back in Finland working from here, so that was much more easier. Yeah, but moving as a single person, I would say really, really hard. Really, really hard. You need a good support system to be able to make it. Oh wow. Sharon says it was smooth run and helped my, I think, her integration to be much more easier. How was it for you, Sharon, and the family? You, I know your children, you had your baby there, but during the process, and how is integration in Germany? Are you in Germany, right? How is integration in Germany? Oh, and also, guys, I think next when I'm coming, I wanted to talk about dowry. On the last live session that we did, we had a guy who brought about the dowry payment in Africa or in back home, basically. And I wanted to just talk about it. And of course, there was another question written to me. So I want to talk about that. And then we see if we have the same opinion or if we have a different opinion on that. So far so good. Only the language and the weather still not having that. Language and weather, for me, I'm there with you on the weather. The language, I think it's getting better. And I had you speaking to your mother-in-law also, so it's getting better for you too. The weather, I cannot still get used to this weather, especially like I love the weather and the changes and everything, like I don't have a problem with that, but when it comes to the reaction of my skin, it's totally different. And I know I've had cases where someone has told me like it's very cold, like put on more clothes. Like I don't mean like clothes on my body, but my face does not allow it. It's like my face needs me to be constantly covered. um Hey girl, how are you doing? Bebici lifestyle. How are you? Thank you so much for being here. Nice to meet you as well. My name is Nelly, and lovely to have you here. Really appreciate you. The weather for me is also a problem, especially Finland gets really cold. And actually, I've had people asking me mostly when moving here, what are some of the things that you should get? I would say invest in very warm clothes and also check the temperature. Like the jackets or the coats you're buying are meant for that temperature level because here it goes as low as -10 and you need something really warm. You need something really warm to make it through. Thank you so much for being here, girl. You need something really warm to make it through. The food, I think I did not have any problems with that. But integration is hard when there's, especially people who are integrating now that there's corona and distancing and stuff like that, because you don't get to meet people on a normal environment to allow normal conversations. Yeah, so I think in that manner it becomes much more of a challenge. Yeah. What else? Let me see. It's 4:31. I think, guys, what I'm going to do is I'll go for this meeting, which I really need to attend at Matthew's school, and then probably we can catch up after I come back. That'll be much more easier. And then we can talk about dowry, payment, and marriage and stuff. So please, I would really appreciate if you can come back when you see me live and we can talk about this. I'm not sure what time I'm coming back exactly, because when I come back, I need to make dinner and then be here with you guys if it's possible. If it's possible, I don't know what's happening with the kids yet. So I'll see you guys when I return. But for the 5 of you who have been here, thank you so much for being here with me. I really do appreciate it. And if you want to support my content, please watch my playlist and help me achieve this remaining milestone. I would really appreciate that one. Yeah, so I'll talk to you guys, and maybe we can expound more on the integration process itself as a whole if you have any more questions. Yeah. But yeah, I'll talk to you guys later. Let me go for the meeting first. Bye.